Welcome to our Posh podcast. I'm Gabrielle, and today we're along with my daughter Marcella.
Hello.
My son Gino.
I'm back.
My Puerto Rican son Bernie.
The other son.
Yes, my son now.
Other son.
And Spider. And we welcome a very special guest today, Bernie's brother Rolf.
Thank you.
Which I have to say, I'm from Austria, and some words are really hard for me to say, and Rolf is like one of them.
Rolf.
Like,
I didn't even
Bark
think
his
about that.
name, Rolf.
Yeah, I get that sometimes, yeah.
I was like, oh, golly. Okay.
That's funny.
But we welcome. Thank you for coming.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I know that you are a battalion chief at the Fort Worth Fire Department for 19 years.
So I've been a firefighter for 19 years.
Okay.
I've been a battalion chief for about a little over 3 years. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What is a battalion chief mean?
Well, so it's just a rank. I mean, so in Fort Worth, in different fire departments, the rank structure is different. We're paramilitary. So in Fort Worth, you start up as a firefighter, you promote up to an engineer, you drive the truck, and then a promotion after that is a lieutenant. So it's an officer position. So you're in charge of everything that has to do with on that truck.
Oh.
Everything they do. And then as a captain, another promotion, you're over a larger truck or a station.
Oh, okay.
As a chief, as a battalion chief, you're over 7
My
stations.
gosh, you
Oh,
are just
wow.
like up
He's
there.
a big
So-
wig.
He's a big
He's
wig.
downplaying it
That's
right
not
now.
true. I
He's very
figured.
much downplaying.
That's not true.
Like
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's at.
So I work downtown Fort Worth, and it's new to me. I started there in January, that new assignment in January, when we had a very tenured chief retire. And my boss, I was really happy. I was on the east side of Fort Worth, which is where Bernie and I grew up. So that was really special and really cool. So, and it's a very busy battalion, lots of fires and awesome guys. People who gravitate towards a busy station, it's because they love being busy. They're high energy guys who don't mind being tired, don't mind being worked hard. They want to see fire. They want to see exciting things. So
Wow.
I love working with guys like that because it's like you're not herding cats. You know, it's like you have these horses that are like these strong horses with these high energy people that you just got to basically point them in the right direction and
They'll go.
get going.
pretty
And
crazy.
That's
that's
cool.
a fun team to be a part of. So.
Unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Well, I was very intrigued when I researched everything about you. I was like, my gosh, there's so much I want to know now about firefighters. So we're going to do that in a little bit. First, I wanted to start. You guys are brothers.
Yes.
You actually had 3 brothers.
We did.
There's 3 of you. And I wanted to go a little bit into your story. So you guys grew up in Fort Worth. And Rolf, tell me a little bit about you. How was your growing up, your teenage years, your whole entire
Did you
thing?
beat Bernie up a lot?
All the time.
So I'm 3 years older than Bernie, but
I'm still recovering mentally from all that.
no, Bernie and I were always, tight. We
Yeah.
always had a good relationship. But so we were born in Brooklyn. We were born in Brooklyn.
That's right,
That's
because
yeah.
that's
Me
where
too.
Marcella's
Right,
born.
so we were at Brooklyn Hospital.
That's where their dad
and we
is
lived in
from.
Queens till, we were 83. So
Yeah.
We lived there.
So, yeah,
Queens?
okay, yeah.
I lived in
that.
Queens for 1 year.
Really?
Howard Beach, Queens.
Wow.
Yeah, we lived there, Flushing Meadows.
Yeah.
In Corona. So, yeah, so we were young when we moved over here to Texas. Dad brought us over here he didn't want to raise his kids in Queens, right? So,
Neither did I.
right, but it's a cool place to be from, not necessarily to
Not that if there's anyone listening from Queens, we love Queens. It's awesome.
Yeah, right.
That's
There's
true.
some for little children.
I'm getting ready to move back.
That's a good point. Oh, I'm proud to be from there. It's a cool place, but it made sense that Dad wanted to get us out of some dangerous situations.
Right.
So we moved to East Fort Worth, where we grew up, and a little different. Dad was a self-employed dude, and he did high-end men's clothes in Paramount in Dallas, and he sold suits to professional athletes who couldn't get things off the rack. So these guys with big, huge chests and small, little bitty waists, they can't get things off the rack,
yeah.
and they want to look nice. So he was always traveling around and
It was pretty cool to see that.
It was.
We got to go to a lot of the cool like charity events and like black tie affair like
That's
events.
cool.
It was really cool. So we'd see a lot of my dad's. I mean, he can talk to anybody. Like he has that personality and people gravitate towards him. And so he, when we were young, we would go to like some of the athletes back in the day, Drew Pearson, some of these guys that my dad became really close friends with, and so we get a chance to kind of see the inner friendships of some of these guys. It was pretty cool, and they were always dressed so
impeccably.
nice.
Always,
yes,
yeah.
it was really
like
really
that.
cool. Yeah, for sure.
You have children?
Yes, I have 3 boys.
3 boys?
My oldest is Jordan. Jordan's 25.
Oh, my
My
goodness.
middle boy is 17.
Yeah, he's old.
What?
My brother's old.
You're only 3 years older than you. He said.
He's old.
Oh, I was like, wait.
My baby is 15.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so those guys are Kai's about to be 15. Yeah. Pierce is about to be 18. Pierce will be 18 August 29th.
Do any of them want to be firefighters?
Pierce does. Pierce is hell bent on being a firefighter.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you close with them too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a lot closer now. And we just so Ralph and I did a guys trip. Like we did this like family trip with my son Jet, and then Pierce didn't make it, but it was just Ralph, Kai, Caden, and I. And we're trying to make this like our first annual official guys.
The best thing to do.
It was super cool. So we went to Galveston for a weekend.
How was it?
It was really, really
Where
cool.
did you stay?
So we
Did you listen to me?
No.
No.
So
Didn't listen to me.
here's what we did. About 4 days before the trip, we then started looking at Airbnb. I know I wasn't thinking, 4th of July is around the corner because we just went. Nothing was available. So the day before we found a hotel, but ended up being, it was a little resort and it ended up being beachfront. So it was really cool. It ended up being fine. And we didn't spend really any time there except for like when we sleep and change.
Yeah.
But I mean, we spent time at the beach, and then we went to we were going to go to Moody Gardens on Saturday, and it rained. It rained out,
Like
so
nuts.
yeah, it was rained like crazy. So we're sitting at IHOP. We're trying to figure out what to do. We have no clue what to do in Galveston, and
It's raining.
It's raining.
That
Like
I
it's,
have.
And that was it. It wasn't just the rain. It was like lightning bolts. These
like it was
Yeah,
bad.
it's not-
these
you
lightning
can't do
bolts.
anything.
It just kind of
And
get
these-
wet. It's like I don't
it
want
was-
to kind of get dead.
And the kids are like, "Oh, it's fine. Let's go on the beach." And we're like,
You can't go in the water.
Right.
Depends on the mode. We were like, yes, go play in the lightning. But no. So these 2 ladies overhear us talking to each other. Like, shoot, what do we do? And they're like, "Excuse me, sir. Are you guys trying to find something to do?" Which we were. And so they suggested NASA, which is like 45 minutes away. But we ended up going, and it was awesome. Like,
Really?
yes, I'm not kidding. If you guys have never been,
We've never
you're to
been.
Houston. It was for us, for the kids. They were super excited, but for me, I was like, "Holy shit, it was really cool." Because you get to actually get into the space shuttle, like an actual real space shuttle, see the size of it.
Oh my God.
It was super cool. So we
There's
spent
tons of different little exhibits and different things the boys can put their hands on or read about or see, or all the different ways that people engage and learn were addressed there.
Yeah.
I've
was
always
really cool.
heard that it's very, very cool
it was
setup.
super cool. So we spent time there, and then we went to the beach that night. And so like it was super easy. That trip was really easy.
Easy?
Yeah. So
That's good.
I know.
And
Galveston.
they had a
Who'd
great
have
time.
thought?
So
No, Galveston is cool. I love Galveston.
My favorite.
So tell us, like, when Bernie went a little wild and crazy and went into the Dallas scene.
Bernie's always been wild and crazy.
He has
I'll say
always
that,
been
right?
wild and
He's
crazy.
He's
just-
like, not a little bit.
That's the thing about it. Okay, so Bernie, so we were a Christian family, and very a good foundation of stuff. And Bernie and I very. You said when we walked in, you're like, "Y'all look just alike." But we're so different. We are
Yeah.
pretty different. I'm more of a rule follower, and I like things in a certain way. And
That's
Bernie
like
is.
Gino and Marcella.
I'm
Sitting
like
right
Bernie.
across from each other.
Yeah.
That's a good balance.
Yeah.
It's a good balance in siblings. So I'm a rule follower, and I like I'm extremely competitive, and and so there's a ton of similarities, but the difference is Bernie has. I mean, he's like my dad. He's very very charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
People gravitate to the guy. I mean, like on a crazy level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really haven't
He's
seen very many
charismatic,
people.
really?
Yeah, extremely charismatic. It's like he's got this super mutant power that's like people would gravitate to the dude, and
Never heard
everybody
described that
loves
way ever. The mutant power.
everybody loves Bernie, right? So I'm a little quieter, reserved, and so growing up, that was a big difference. But
So you never went into the Dallas club night scene kind of thing?
He only went when I'd invite him to like a party.
right.
And
it
then
was,
he went like, oh, I don't want to be part of this.
No,
mess.
so not at all.
So this
No.
is the rule following thing. I mean, I never had a drink until like my honeymoon.
When was like? How old were you?
I was like 25.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
A sip of alcohol?
No, I didn't. That wasn't
like
my
a
thing.
real drink.
I was
Yeah.
like, I was an athlete. I played all the different
So
sports.
Latino.
Yeah, it's
I had
great.
a drink before 25.
Well, that was my thing. It was like, okay, I don't want. I was just kind of in the whole, I don't want to do it. I don't know. I just got in the.
Don't want to get any distractions.
Yeah, it was like it was potential distraction. I don't want to put anything in my body that would cause me to deviate.
For Ralph, but in fairness, so Ralph, he followed the rules big time, but he also accomplished a ton at an early age. So
Because
he went to
of it.
TCU, played on the football team, played with Daniel Tomlinson, like got a full ride. So he accomplished a lot of stuff at 25. When at 25, I was doing dumb shit. Like I was doing the stuff that I'm looking back, shaking my head at kind
Why
of
did I
now.
waste my time?
Like, yeah, it was a waste of time. So he had accomplished a bunch of stuff at 25. So
Yeah. Usually the rule followers do. And then the ones who don't are like, shit, I just wasted a lot of time.
some later in life.
Yeah.
Though, later in life.
Yeah, we did a lot of different stuff. We had sports. He's into music. Played the guitar and the drums. And Bernie was a really good drummer and guitar and sang.
So were you
and all
ever
that
worried about Bernie in that whole scene?
Yeah, whenever he got into that, it made sense because, like I said, people were always gravitating towards him. So when he went into the party, I was never afraid of Bernie, something happening to Bernie. It was like, if I was worried about something, it was something Bernie was going to choose to do. That was that was my concern. It's like, because look at him. He's a big, strong, huge dude, big, strong, muscly guy. You're not worried about something happening to him, and
So-
everybody loves him. So
Yeah.
So for everyone that has not listened to episode 46, episode 46 is about Bernie and Bernie's life and everything that happened to him. And he got shot in a drive-by shooting.
Gangster.
got
And
street cred.
how
Yeah,
did
right?
you
Right.
find out, Ralph? Like, tell us how you found out what we're
Well,
doing.
Like your
That
experience.
I know. So yeah, gosh, when you said that, my stomach dropped.
Really?
Just now, and it's still emotional when I think about it because my brother, I got a call, and I'm gonna start crying here.
People cry in here all the time.
Ask Spider.
So for me, I was sleeping. I was in bed asleep, and I got a phone call, and normally I'm sleeping through that, but I woke up and saw it was Bernie. I thought it was odd.
Oh,
to
Bernie,
get
you
in-
called him.
No, I didn't call him.
Oh.
Well,
the phone
the
was
phone.
ringing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the phone was ringing. So I answered the phone, and some guy telling me,
Oh.
hey, your brother is, it was a firefighter in the back of an ambulance telling me stuff about my brother, and he told me he was in an accident, and I wanted to know as many details as he gave me.
I haven't even
details.
heard this interpretation of this. This is good. I haven't heard this stuff.
Yeah, he's telling me that he was shot, and I was like, so where was he shot? Is he okay? I'm
With
a
fire
firefighter, so
mode.
I'm like firefighter
Right.
to firefighter. Don't give me any BS. I want to know where he was shot. How is he doing? I wanted to know the pertinent information. So I'm going from worst case scenario, is he alive? That kind of a thing. I don't know anything. It's whatever, out 2 a.m, whatever. I don't know what the time it was.
Yeah.
I just know I was awoke.
It was
and-
3:30 in the morning.
yeah, so I just know I was asleep.
where all
So-
the good stuff happens at 3:30.
Yeah.
nothing good happens that late, or that early. So I jumped in the car and shot to Dallas, and I don't even remember
Yeah.
the trip. I was so focused and thinking of other different things.
What about your parents at that moment? Did they know? Did you
know what?
call them?
I know.
don't know?
I don't remember. I don't remember that part of it. I do know when I got there to the hospital, I went to the ER, and I ran into the doctor that was taking care of him, Dr. Beeson. He later became the medical director at MedStar. This guy was young.
Oh,
at the
wow.
time. But he was a friend of my brother's. My older brother Isaac.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were friends. Isaac was a police officer, a nurse, an EMT. He did ER rotations
wow.
and stuff like that. So I've met this guy before through him. so whenever I got there, he was kind of giving me the rundown. But when I went in there, when I wanted to see my brother, Bernie was in, ER room. It wasn't even a room, it was curtains and stuff, and going over there and just seeing his hand and the gravity of what was going on. And I am not I think I'm particularly well wired for emergency services. I don't remember crazy details of things that happened a long time ago. I can move into a horrendous situation. I think it was one of my skill sets. Prioritize the issues. I can assess the scene, prioritize the issues, see what's going on, develop a plan, and initiate.
So you're not like my mother.
Oh
She's drama from 0 to 100, screaming and crying, fainting. Yeah.
I'm actually listening to this and go, wow, it's kind of amazing. I can't even
Some
imagine.
of the stuff I've seen that like pictures of scenes, I'm thinking, how in the hell, like, how are you so calm? Because it's just chaos. But that's why he's a battalion chief.
Yeah,
he can handle all of that.
That's
For me, it's
unbelievable.
fun. It's fun for me. People like into puzzles and stuff like that. That's kind of, for me,
I think it's
incident
amazing.
command is something
pretty
I
cool.
like.
Amazing.
I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, some guys who gravitate towards different things, but I guess I've always had a, kind of a low, I guess that kind of, the quiet part of it. I got a lot of things going on in my head, and I realize the situation. I'm situationally aware of what's going on. It's just, okay, that's not important. That's not important. That's important. That's important.
Wow.
Life safety, incident stabilization, property conservation, environmental impact, all these different things are going through my brain.
Mom, take notes.
I'm impressed right now.
All right.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
What am I prioritizing here? So for when I see my brother, he's not shot in any vital organs, right?
Which is important.
He's alive.
Yeah.
I know my brother's okay there, but now I see his hand is covered up.
Right.
It's a huge,
So you didn't see it.
So I cannot see the injury, but I'm talking to the doctors, and they're kind of explaining what's going on. So I'm thinking, all right, he's okay. He's shot in the hand. He's going to be okay. And then I'm there for a while, and he's in pain, and he's emotional, and he's extremely uncomfortable. And when not very shortly after I got there, the doc uncovers his hand. And I'm right there with my brother, and he exposes his hand. Bernie's hand is sitting there, and he's got a hole. The whole part of the whole middle of his hand, the whole back of his hand is gone. There's a hole.
Yeah.
And all the bone fragments are just intermingled in there and out. And I just realized all those bones are what moves your fingers. All those bones are what move your fingers. I mean, his fingers look perfect. His hand looked perfect.
Yeah.
Everything about his hand looked perfect. He had a bullet going through his wrist and out the back of his hand. And I realized then, I said, my brother is going to be severely impacted by this. Whether he loses his hand or... I knew right then.
Yeah.
I knew right then. Absolutely. I knew right then. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I started crying.
Yeah.
And he was not. I mean, he wasn't, but I just, for me, it's my brother.
Yeah.
And what I was talking about before is I don't get squeamish around, blood and gory stuff. I mean, I've seen lots of.
I'm sure.
In 20 years of the fire department, you see lots of different things. You're the first people in on.
I would have so many questions because I look at everything like that.
And so, if
I want to know everything.
We will. We'll get there.
I know.
I know. You guys interrupt me if I can talk, because I can talk about fire department stuff all day long. But for this, it was difficult. It really was difficult. It was a kick in the pants. It was a shot to the gut for me, and it was extremely emotional for me. I was angry. I was really angry. I didn't know the details of what happened or why it happened. So at that point, and there was a lot of other things going on in my life at the time as well. Isaac had cancer. Older brother had cancer.
But that didn't come out till after, right?
Yeah. I didn't find out till, I don't know when you found out.
You knew already when this happened?
So that's the thing about our family. It's just a weird. It's like that Puerto Rican culture. There's that. On one side, it's like that machismo kind of a pride thing, but they're all very, very private about some things like that, and a lot of my family members don't even smile in pictures. Here's the picture.
Very straight face,
straight mean mug, straight face,
smiles.
Mean mug.
mean mug in
So
the
you
camera.
all have resting bitch face.
All of us, they do.
have.
See, we
They
don't.
do.
Yeah.
Not Bernie.
Obviously, we don't subscribe
You guys
to
do
that.
smile, yeah.
We're smilers. We're gonna
We
we're
don't
gonna smile.
subscribe
But-
to that.
That's right. That's right.
So that some of that, a lot of that wasn't common knowledge to everybody. But dad, my father, that whole few months, whatever.
Yeah.
Dad had cancer. My older brother had bad cancer, and my younger brother was shot. And
That's a lot.
All
That's
comes
a
in
lot.
threes.
it was
comes
all in
in
the same.
threes.
It was right there in that same area, and it was it felt overwhelming for me, you know. And I wanted to throw myself in there to help Bernie. The good thing is about Bernie, he had tons of support. He had he had an army of friends that were constantly up there doing things for him, and he had a business he was trying to get started.
Right.
He was about to launch this this empire, so it was really confusing as far as that stuff for him.
Right.
I remember back then I was an engineer studying to be a lieutenant, and I almost stopped studying when Isaac was sick, and I just knew Isaac was extremely proud of the fire department, my track. So I decided not to stop, to keep going. Same thing with Bernie. It was like this deal here. There was so much stuff going on. It was a pretty rough part of life.
Yeah, 07 sucked. 2007 sucked. It was like, because, see, my accident happened March 25th of 07. I found out about I found out about my dad and my brother having cancer on the same day. I think it was day 4. I spent a month at Parkland. And,
Oh my God.
yeah. So Parkland's an amazing unit, but man, it's county hospital, so you get anything and everything, and they cannot turn you away. And it's some of the best care in the country for sure.
Yes.
But the problem is that you get everybody there, so you get a lot of interesting personalities there.
I'm sure.
So the first, I think on day 4 or 5, I come to, my dad's then in my bed. And that's when he's filling me in on stuff. And to this day, I think I've said before, I don't remember the first 3 days.
Right.
To this day, I don't. And he was filling me in, and then he lets me know, just fill me on what I'd missed. And then he lets me know that both him and my brother had cancer. So that was like the first week of April, whatever. So that was in April. So not only because all individual events were massive events. Just one person getting cancer, that'll rock anybody's
Anybody.
world,
Hey,
right?
guess what? Your dad has cancer. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but your brother got shot, and your brother has cancer too. I think.
Yeah,
Take
it
that.
was crazy.
I
crazy.
think that's
So,
more than the normal,
yeah,
what
for
you
sure.
hear.
Yeah, so it was all in
That's a
threes.
lot.
So I'm playing the Powerball,
That's a
the
lot of
Mega
three.
Millions, and that's a lot of all
That's a
three.
heavy
Hell-
3. I think most people's 3 is like a flat tire, like a
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
the lawn,
Jeez.
like their wash machine breaks and
Uh-huh.
they stub
It was-
their toe. I mean,
it was crazy.
I think
Yeah,
that's a normal 3.
07 was a year of. I call it a year of growth, because I felt like all I did was grow.
Well, I think you're a good example too of what you're going through is only temporary for people who are going through things that they feel like are really bad.
Yeah.
I think that it's important to always remember that it's not forever.
That's
Because I'm
great.
sure there were times that you were like, kind of wanted to like die. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
have that feeling of just like, I can't live with
Yes,
this.
that was.
great perspective to have.
Yeah.
That's easy to say now, but when you're in it, it's so
That's
difficult
horrible.
to see it from that perspective.
That's-
but you're right.
yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, there were moments that when I was sitting in the hospital, I remember thinking, because it was so real, and it felt it really was real. But I remember thinking, I'm stuck. Like this is never gonna go away.
Right.
And to this end, I had a good friend of mine who told me she had an accident. She had her skull crushed. They had to do crazy brain surgery, and she was comparing the stories. And she was like, look, one day you'll still remember this, but you'll forget about everything around. And it's true. To this day, I can't connect with the pain or the emotional part of it, because it was so real at that point, but it's been so much time that, just like you said, nothing ever is stuck in that same spot.
It's funny you say that, because one of the things that screams out to me when I think about that, it was the amount of pain you're in. And for me, it's really easy. I mentioned being on the east side of Fort Worth. It's really easy when you're running that many calls to get desensitized.
Yeah.
Like, and
talking
that's
about
something with my schedule. I work 24 on, I'm off 48. So, and I have 3 boys. So when my boys were really young, I was really happy that if my middle boy up here fell and skinned his knee, and my wife and I were sitting there on the couch, there's a very good chance that he'd come running to me. Why is that? Why is that? Because
you're calm.
I was home all the time. No, I spent a ton of time with my kids during those formative young years. And you know, shoot, I've logged millions of kisses on my boys' faces because I just love those guys so much, and I had a chance to do that. It's not typical. Usually, a typical role. The husband's out there working, and I did that obviously, but I had time at home with my boys. So, in that, I just remember how much pain Bernie was in. And sometimes those nurses and those doctors, and they get desensitized to that. Mm-hmm. And me being there with my brother, I was this advocate for them. And I was there to I would get their attention, dude, because we would be coming from one procedure going to another room, and Bernie was, if we hit a bump from the hallway to the elevator,
so
he would just any shake at all, it was just pain. Because his hand was just kind of sticking out there on an island, right? All the support and all these different things like that. I would grab this guy's arm and say, "Look," I look him right in the eye. I grab this guy, looks, and look.
And he's Ralph's not a small guy; he's a big guy.
I look and eye to eye. I said, "Look, we're going from here to here. This needs to be as smooth as possible, right?" And he'd be like, "All right, man, we're on the same page,
yes,
sir.
Got it." Got it, because it's like you're there, and are they going to do a good job? Yeah, they're going to do a good job, but
they're going to do an extra job if you say something.
Exactly. Sometimes it's a squeaky wheel thing, but it's your loved one, it's your brother, it's your sister, it's your father, it's your mother. Sometimes you don't want it. So I translated that, and I kind of took that into my profession, and whenever I'm going and providing emergency care, providing patient care. I try to remember. It is different. It wasn't. This was many years ago. So I try to remember to impart those learning opportunities, those growing opportunities, to say, guys, look, every single time we roll out the house, every single time, sometimes it might be somebody's worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And not you're going to be the person. You're going to be that agent that can change their life. What a cool opportunity!
Right.
Is it horrible for them? Yes, but here's an opportunity for you to be an angel, to
make a difference,
to provide stellar service. And because right now I walk into someone's house, and what are they going to do? They're going to hand me a baby that's choking. They're going to tell me, here's my mother. They're going to bring me. Well, now why do they do that? Well, there's instant trust. There's instant trust. Is it me because it says R Diamond on my shirt? No, they don't know who I am because it says fire department.
Yeah,
they say, you know what, this guy I can trust. Why? Because the guys, the men and women who came before me, they set forth this culture,
right,
and this relationship with the people. So we want to perpetuate that, can continue that relationship by going out there and serving people on a high level, extremely high level. So whenever they leave, they're like, man, this was the worst day of my life, and then whenever they're talking about it, they're talking about all the great things that the guys did for them.
Yeah, so. I was just talking about this with Jolie yesterday, my sister, that. Because I wanted to work in an ER, but I can't. I'm very ADD, so I can't go to school that long. But I did want to.
She used to make me watch the videos with her as a young child.
I really, really did, because I felt like sometimes they're so cold. Like I felt like I know that they have to be desensitized, or they get that way because I think maybe it's too hard sometimes to always personally attach yourself to it. Yeah. But I felt like too that this person is either scared or confused. Like they don't deal with that every day, whether it's like a death or like even when my dad passed, they're very kind of cold. And I was like, that's so hard for someone who I don't know what's happening. I'm confused. I don't deal with it all the time. Yeah. So if somebody could just be a little bit more nurturing, because I was like, I could work there and I'd make everybody feel so much better and I'd be so nice and so loving to everyone. But then I can't go to school that long. But anyways, that was my whole that's awesome.
That's a good point. There's a lot of nurses that are missing that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are tons of them that are really good at that.
It, yeah.
And they have that great bedside manner.
I think sometimes the thing, because I've worked in medicine for about 10, 11 years, and I think the easy thing to forget, and the flip side of what you both are saying, is that those nurses, those firefighters, those police officers, those doctors, they also have life happening to them. And so some are going through a divorce, some are going through a loss of a child, a loss of something, a breakup, super in debt. They're losing their business. I mean, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And their job is to put a smile on and take care of the person. And I think it's easy to forget that. And I think I say that only because working, as long as I have in healthcare, and having some really good friends that be physicians that were trauma doctors who their job is to go in there after a gunshot wound or someone, they're about to tell the family that, that we've done everything we can. Yeah. There's nothing more to do. That they also have crap going on in their lives. So I guess there's just the flip side of it. That's gotta be tough on that side. It being, especially with what you guys see all day long and going after call and trying to calm people. But I think it takes a unique person and personality to be able to have the ability to separate that and recognize that you have the ability to really put something well into somebody else who's having a bad day. So,
really bad.
Yeah.
For the most part. Anything you're going to, I would imagine, is pretty bad day.
No, see, so and I guess to my point, right along with that is like, I never wanted to get so desensitized to one of my son skins his knee that I'm like, you're good. The guy yesterday, his leg was chopped off. You're good.
Shake it off.
Walk it off.
Walk that one off. No, I wanted to maintain that sensitivity to him. That's an emergency.
Of course.
To my son who fell and skinned his knee, that's an emergency. To Mrs. Jones who hurt her elbow, this is an emergency.
To her.
This is for her and her world and her experience and her. This is a level 9 catastrophe. Help me, with this. So,
of course,
we will get your cat out of the tree. All right, we'll get out.
It's but to those people, it means something. But I've been to some people who I've been to some places where you're looking around, you're like, this is bad. But to them, they're like, oh, I'm sorry that I called you out for this, and my foot's,
hanging off.
Yeah, it's a.
I'm sorry I called you.
It's facing the wrong way.
Put up for me, please.
Yeah,
pick it up.
My foot's
Sorry, I
facing the
called
wrong
you.
way, but they're apologizing that they called you. But then you have someone else who's very entitled, and you're helping them with, my ear is hurting. It's my heavy earache. And well, how long have you had? It's 3 a.m. Well, how long has your ear been hurting? Oh, for 4 days. So why'd you call us at 3 a.m. because your ear's hurting? Why don't you call?
You try noon?
Yeah. Why don't you come? Go see the doctor tomorrow and just make a regular appointment with a regular human being.
Gosh.
But anyway,
there's a lot of that happening. I'm sure.
No, you're getting firefighter venting right now.
That is too funny.
I have to say I get really severe migraines sometimes, I've called. My family has called before, and I take this medicine, and I never take anything, but I just think it's a lot, right? So it's kind of the same thing. So when they come and they look at my medicine, they kind of go, whatever kind of thing. But it makes me feel better. I'm like, okay, they're thinking it's nothing.
I'm not going to die. It's good. All right.
They think I'm fine.
Migraines are so debilitating. They're so difficult.
Do you wait till you have the migraine, then take your medicine? Or do you try to stay ahead of it?
It happens so fast.
It does,
it happens instantly.
Well, hers are scary because she can't see, and her hand
My hands
tingles.
go numb, so you just
she gets
can't
scared.
talk. Like, it's very,
No
very
kidding.
scary.
I've had 2 in my life, and I had one. I don't remember what the first one was, but the second one, I remember I was in an airplane, and that was, I would have rather just jumped out of the plane at that point. It was so bad. But, there's people who have them every day.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
I had an ex-girlfriend when I was in my 20s who would get them literally every day, 3 or 4 a day, or she would be throwing up.
She didn't get that either.
You do or you don't? Oh man, I heard that's gonna be bad. The pain's so bad you're throwing up.
Yeah. That's why I laugh. I work with kids, and sometimes they're like, I have a migraine. I'm like, nope, you have a headache. And that's not a migraine, and you can still dance because I know the difference. I'm like, no, migraine and headache are 2 different, very
You
different
just did a
things.
cartwheel. I know that you don't have a migraine.
Yeah, exactly. No, you do not have a migraine. But we've called, for you.
But it's always like, I always feel bad too. And they're like, do you want us to take you to the hospital? I'm going, well, I don't know. Do you think I need to go?
It gives you peace of mind though, right?
Yeah.
You're only calling
totally.
because you're really, it's legit to you.
It's very
I mean,
scary.
like it's scary and
So I'm always so grateful. And then here comes the natural question. Like, one of my best friends, she has passed away, and she was in love with all men in uniform. I mean, that was just her thing. And she would periodically go to the fire station, to the police station, and bring food and cookies and all that. Do you guys really like that when people do that?
Okay, so that's a loaded question.
No, because because of her, when I have called, I then feel like, do I bring them food? But then I feel weird walking in there bringing food. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Here's a peach. It's fine.
She wants to give back. Thank you for making me feel better.
I will say this. You're going to get probably different answers from different people, but we are extremely appreciative that people, they usually the people are bringing by things. It's brownies or cookies or things like that. They're just saying, hey, thank you. You took care of my father, you took care of my sister, you took care of my loved one, and just thank you for what you did. And here's a little, But I had a guy for years. So this predated my assignment to the station. But on the east side of Fort Worth, near Hearst, there was a man who his daughter was involved in an accident, and it was a really bad accident to where whenever they got her to the hospital, the doctor said. He told her, he said, you're these firefighters, the guys who provided emergency care on the scene, they saved her life. She would have died had they not done what they did. So, beginning then, every day, that man came to the station and dropped off something.
Every day.
Wow. That's crazy.
For years until he got so old that he had some dementia things, and he there were issues with him just getting to the station, but he was so appreciative. And so I loved his consistency. I loved his heart.
That's
but
amazing.
We got to the point where like, sir, you don't have to do that. We know you appreciate what you did. Oh, what we did. And shoot, I didn't even do it. It happened before I even got there. So it's like, you want to give the guy a hug and say, man, thank you so much for your heart. But we love doing what we do.
I'm dieting now.
Yeah.
Can you stop bringing these cookies?
We did have a guy say that to him. He was like, hey, look, I know you like bringing cookies, but I'm trying to lose some weight. So the guys are like bringing peaches and oranges and fruit and stuff. But to answer your question, guys appreciate that. The guys they're very thankful. You have guys who are like, oh, all over it. And of course, they love the pretty girls who come and bring that stuff by there too. So I will not discourage people.
You helped me get my door open. Thank you.
So did she do it because she just appreciated men in uniform, or was she like she wanted to?
Both.
Yeah,
I mean, she appreciated them so much, and then she
wanted to flirt too.
Yeah, she was a big flirt.
That's right.
So
That's too funny.
Yeah, I'm sure that's appreciated. Also.
Flirting too.
On this note, I think we need to call Miss Polly for this first show, and then we have a second show, part 2, and we're going to learn all about firefighters.
You will get used to this next part.
Yeah.
You will. That sounds
The second show.
So, but now we're going to call Miss Polly.
Here we go.
Gino loves it too.
just like.
Hello.
Hi, my love. How are you?
Miss Polly.
Indeed, I am well. Thank you. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
4th.
This is Penis and Pussy Talk
With Miss Polly.
I love everybody's face. No warning either.
I'm so used to it now.
Yeah, I'm desensitized.
Very, very desensitized.
Penis and pussy talk.
Miss Polly, we're here with Bernie's brother, Ralph, today. And
Hello, Bernie's brother.
he is he's actually a battalion chief at the Fort Worth Fire Department. So I have a question for you. It's a two-part question today. Why do women like men in uniform? And which one make the best lovers?
Oh.
Yay! And, okay. Well, I like a man in uniform.
I knew you would.
I think a lot of it has to do with, we think of the man in uniform as somebody who is responsible, protective, just that he's a guy. All those things that we women crave, protection, safety, responsibility, and that's what they exude. I mean, because they have to be responsible. I mean, they're in that uniform for a reason. And I think that's just sexy as hell.
I want to ask Ralph if he notices it when he's in uniform. Like, do you notice women, like, being all over you and all like,
You know what? I've been told that I'm not good at this. That that girl was totally into you, and I'm like, I didn't know, I was being nice to her. She was being nice, you know. So I will
Totally
just leave it.
oblivious to the clues.
Yeah, maybe so. And
To make women are way more attractive because he's clueless to it.
Oh, yeah, that's-
I mean, he's
sweet,
innocently,
like,
truly
Ashley,
clueless
yeah.
to it.
yeah, I just So I like being nice to people, and people. I find that people are very nice to me as well.
Especially when you're in uniform.
Yeah.
With
That's usually-
power. Battalion
Or at
Chief.
least half of the uniform, even.
Were you guys
know.
like running
half the uniform. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Just
The
wear the
top
hat.
part or the bottom half?
Yeah,
What's
which
the
half
part?
are we talking about?
Well, you guys like run in the
Oh,
fire
yeah.
when people run out. It's like, oh my gosh, he'll say like you rescue, like you're the knight in shining armor type
Yes.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's really sexy.
Hey.
So, which ones are the best lovers, Miss Polly? Police officers or firefighters?
I mean, but hold on, before you answer that,
Yeah.
we're talking about
Wow.
people in uniform. Could that be like a plumber
Yeah, that's what I was
too,
gonna
or could it be
say.
like
No, not
baseball
kind of
player.
uniform.
You know, it could be, I started thinking about that. I was like, well,
Pilots.
define what we think
pilots?
about men in uniform.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of uniform are we talking? We have, 5 branches of the military.
Yeah.
Is it just military? We're talking policemen, firemen.
now we made this question so difficult.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've added so many people into there,
Doctors.
A chef wears the uniform. Doctor wears the uniform. Holy moly.
I think we're talking more
Yeah.
about the kind of like life-saving uniform.
So it's like military and like firefighter. police.
military, and then,
Paramedics
first
and
responders.
And
Paramedics.
doctors.
I was trying to think. Yes. First responders. Yeah.
Well, I guess I was
Well,
going
let's
by
see.
my girlfriend who loved firefighters and police officers. Those were her two
Yeah.
main uniform.
I
Loves
kind
the
of
attraction,
dated
yeah.
both of them.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
I'm kind of.
You have dated
Yeah.
both of them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
Well, I guess you can tell us
you
from
can tell
experience.
us.
Done it all, Miss Polly.
Well, they were both had great aspects, I mean,
What?
I don't know.
Stop it right now. You answer direct.
Yeah, exactly. Bernie's like, just
Aspects.
tell us the story.
We want a
Well, I'm
direct
just
answer.
thinking that the policeman was okay, but he was a little selfish. And the
Oh.
firefighter was a lot more giving.
Yeah, we're the servants.
Ah,
We're very willing to serve.
oh my God.
The customer always comes first.
That's like a perfect answer right
That was
there.
perfect. I love that answer, actually.
That is hilarious.
That is too funny.
So there you have it.
There you have it.
There
So
it is.
let's go to the question of the day.
Yay.
Okay.
The two posh girls ask the question of the day.
So the question of the day today is, would you rather be bald or have a man bun? And girls, would you rather have your man bald or with a man bun?
All right, wait. Say that again. Do bald or a man bun?
That's tough.
Or was the second one?
The girls, do they prefer bald or a man bun?
So that question's to you?
Or
It's to
you
everybody.
guys,
It's all of us. So,
everybody.
I'll
Would you, if you had to choose, would you rather be bald or have a man bun? You have to have one or the other. And I guess we would decide, would we want someone bald or with a man bun?
Yeah.
Well, so I think some people I'd rather be bald. I mean, I've shaved my head before, and I would never, ever do the man bun thing. That's just, I think that's a horrible
You're
thing.
trying too hard.
Yeah, I think that's just, I don't care who you are, I don't get
I'd
it.
rather be bald. I would just, you take, that's the thing. That's a scary thing for guys. You see guys their hair starts thinning, and they're like, okay, I'm freaking out. Shave it. Just take it by, take the bull by the horns and say, no, I'm shaving it, and I'm gonna. You can be. I mean, just think about it. Think of some of the sexiest guys that are out there today. You got The Rock.
Yeah.
You got Bruce
Oh my
Willis.
God, I
You
love
got
a
all
man
these guys.
with a bald head.
Yeah, you
I
can
love a man
cut
with a
your
bald
hair and
head.
just own it.
Oh my God,
Just own it.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is the sexiest.
Like, I'm
So
very
hard.
confused by, like, the men who are keeping, like, the...
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Like,
at all.
let it go.
Or I mean, they're like a little bit of hair on top, and it just slow, like shave
Like,
it.
let it
Just
go.
shave it.
You would look
We'll
much
get,
better.
We'll get implants, whatever.
Yeah.
No, shave it. Shave it.
That's an option. I know that's a very expensive option.
And very painful.
Painful. Gino, what do you want?
Uh-oh. I don't like my hair when it gets too short, so I can't picture myself bald.
Have
I
you
can't
ever
picture
had your
myself
hair? Have you ever had? What's the lowest you've ever had your hair?
like a 2 at the haircut
so
place.
Gino, I could see you with a man bun.
I
I
could
think
too.
you would look so cool with a man bun.
But don't
I
you
would
also
rather
think?
rock the bun than the
Yeah,
bald.
there's
Some
some.
guys who can pull it off.
There you go.
I was gonna say there's some face shapes that. I mean, head shapes that can pull off a man bun way better than a
Yeah.
bald head. Like my hair, if I grew it out, it'd be frizzy and long and thick and like a big afro. And so, I mean,
You
I've
have
never.
a good man bun.
I'd have a really hot man bun, but then I took the bun out, it'd be just all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll stick to shaving it. So now,
Spider.
I've done both, but I think I'd go bald because man bun messes with my hat game.
Oh, there you go. You'd have to pull it through like a girl.
Yeah, I don't like hats
Oh
like
my
that though.
God.
I think I'm a fitted hat.
bad.
Yeah.
The ponytail, rocking the
Ponytail,
ponytail through the hat.
Good Lord, that's just horrible. That just sounds horrible. All right, now what's y'all's preference?
Miss Polly.
Oh my. Well, let's see. I had someone who had a really, really, really long hair.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh, her
How long?
ex-husband had down to his
Butt.
butt.
That's it. That just
Yeah.
if you get that long. That looks. I don't care who
Well, he
you
was
are.
like an Indian. Like
Well, yeah,
Native
he's
American.
Native American.
Native American.
That's cool though.
Wait, what did
kind
Marcella
of
say?
what kind of
I
Indian was
missed
that,
it.
Marcella? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Indian.
Not a dot.
Not a dot Indian. Oh.
Not a dot. He was
Dude, that's
I'm
so
clarifying.
bad. It's been clarified
That's so
now.
bad.
Officially
But
clarified.
here's the thing for me. Here's my answer to this. I mean, honestly, if you have hair, great. But man bun, no. And I love a bald head. I find it sexy as hell. I just love them. I love a bald pate.
Yeah, there's certain trends I can't wrap my head around. Like
Yeah.
the man bun thing, I don't know how that has become a trend.
I don't like
I don't know
man
how
bun.
I don't know how the beard. Like I got a beard, but I'm talking about. I call
the long
I call it the
beard?
pubic hair beard.
Yeah.
Like,
Scott.
like-
oh no, not that. But Scott Bailey.
The goatee,
Listen,
the face that looks like a vagina.
yeah, I
he
think,
doesn't have that.
No, I'm talking. There's certain guys that look good with them. I mean, they goes
can't
with their
imagine
look,
Spider
right?
without a
But you
beard.
see these guys who are like, they just do not look like they should have a
It's just
beard.
dirty.
Much more than that of dirty, nasty pubic hair, Grizzly Adams beard at all. I know.
Yeah, no.
And so,
No.
plus, yeah. So.
Well, you are like a huge like Fabio fan. You love long
I
hair.
loved Fabio. Oh my
She
gosh.
loves long hair.
Everybody
long-
loved Fabio.
Ew, I
no. You're way too young.
You're
for
too
that.
young.
You don't count in this
Oh, my
conversation.
God.
There's certain conversations that you don't count on. That's what I'm. But
like,
back in the
ugh.
day, like that guy, if you ever talk, he just sounds like an idiot. But
yeah.
I mean, women loved the guy. I don't know how he was such a. What was it about Fabio that you were like?
I don't know. I thought it was amazing. I loved long hair.
But she
Everybody
loves
does.
long hair.
I
She
mean, I have
loves
to
guys
say,
with long hair.
Fabio lost his whole thing with me when he got hit with a bird on a roller coaster. I don't know if you
What?
heard that.
Oh, didn't he break his nose?
Yes,
Or that?
the
That's
bird
right,
crashed
that's
into
right.
him on a roller coaster.
What?
Have you heard him? Have you ever heard him
forgot
talk?
about
If you
that.
hear him
at
talk, he sounds just stupid.
Yeah, he's not the brightest.
He doesn't sound educated
No.
at all.
It's
But he has
just
an
like-
accent. He doesn't have an
Yeah.
accent.
Was he
That's
Swedish?
sexy.
Is that what he is? Or
I think so, something like that. But I do like the man buns. I think they're cool. Like when I see them, some guys look really cool.
Yeah,
to
but
me.
it's some.
some.
I
I
said
can give that.
some.
I'll give you that. Some
Like,
look cool. Goes with their look.
Yeah, I've seen like one guy on Instagram that he kind of looks like Jesus, and I'm like, he's sexy, and he has this long, thick, luscious
that
hair.
guy. Yes, exactly.
And then he has a man bun, but then like majority should just not. I saw somebody with like the tiniest man bun.
Have you seen that they have man bun extensions now?
Yes,
Or you
I know that. Like, no, just
or if you have like a little small part that you can clip, you can clip a man bun
yeah,
to it.
just let's not.
I gotta find this. It's
Let's
really
not
funny.
do that.
Well, I'm gonna just
No.
say I cannot choose because I like the bald head too. Like I think The Rock is super sexy and that is awesome. So I am gonna be both. I'm not choosing.
His
There you
nose
go.
is messed up.
Yeah, I told you.
Here, let me
Show
see.
it to the camera.
Fabio.
when he got hit with a bird on a roller coaster.
I'm sorry, this is what I'm laughing at.
I've seen that.
that's
It's on like
funny.
Amazon.
You can do a
Ridiculous.
man bun clip on. Let me see.
Let's not like. Don't do it, guys. Just don't.
Just stay away from the
Shut-
clip on. All right, let me
If
see.
you don't have the
He's
hair,
just pulling
just
up.
don't.
Just pulling up.
And if you're going bald, just shave it
Just
off.
shave
Yes.
it.
You'll look
Shave
so
it
much
off.
more like.
Let me see.
For anyone listening who's
Own it.
going
Yeah.
bald that wants to shave it, Marcella will shave it for you. That's it.
Yeah, we'll come in here. I'll shave your head for you. And
Oh, you
like-
you chose a video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
This is like him coming down the roller coaster.
yeah.
He's like, what the fuck?
Everyone, look at Fabio's video from the roller coaster when he got hit with a bird in the face.
He's so defeated.
He knew his career was over.
Yeah, that was it.
So, isn't that crazy? That actually kind of is true. His career, he was huge for years.
I mean,
yeah, where's
after that,
Fabio now?
I'm sure he's still. I mean, he made a ton of money. I mean,
Yeah, he was on
a
every
mass-
single book.
yeah.
This is back then when you read books, and I used to read
I was
books.
going to say he was on every book cover
every single
of
one.
romance
Yes.
book covers.
Yep.
It was like
the
you
heartthrob,
couldn't
yeah.
get away from Fabio.
No. So you would read the book and imagine the person. in the
Ugh,
book
but I don't want to imagine that.
because you're too young. You
Well,
don't
and
know.
then of course he did that. It's not butter, or I can't believe it's not butter, or whatever it was.
He did.
It says he's now an avid bird hunter.
That's his Wikipedia.
Stop it.
Just caught that.
No.
On that note, we are gonna go, and we will call you in a little bit, Miss Polly.
Miss Polly.
Thank you, everyone, for
Absolutely.
listening.
Love you.
Bye.